Lecture 4. In this lecture, let's further analyse the momentary impermanence of the material world during the stage of abiding. When objects in the material world are abiding as a continuum, the different molecules in an object are relatively stable in terms of arrangement, so the object looks relatively stable. The structure of the molecules is relatively stable, and the structure of the atoms that make up the molecules is also relatively stable. However, the protons and electrons inside the atoms are in high-speed motion. Although they are relatively stable, when observing from a more microscopic level, they are absolutely moving and changing. Ancient people believed that the material world was composed of the 4 elements of earth, water, fire, and wind. In fact, from the perspective of modern science, the so-called 4 elements are only the manifestations of the different states of matter. From a scientific perspective, matter has 3 states: solid, liquid, and gas. The so-called fire element is actually a phenomenon produced by the visible light waves released when objects undergo chemical reactions or physical interactions. As a result, you see fire. When things interact with the 5 sense faculties of the human body, eye faculty, ear faculty, nose faculty, tongue faculty, and body faculty, to generate the 5 consciousnesses, things are divided into 5 categories: visible forms, sounds, smells, tastes, and textures. If sunlight enters the eyes, it's a visible form. If sunlight shines on the skin, it's a texture. Our skin will feel the heat or a sense of touch, so it's called texture. When any food touches the tongue, it's a taste, but when it touches the skin, it's a texture. When the odour emitted by something touches the nose faculty, it's a smell. If it touches the eyes, it may become a texture. When some gases touch the eyes can feel it. In short, regarding the interaction between the 5 sense faculties and the 5 dusts, it's due to the impermanence of things that the arising of the 5 sense objects and 5 consciousnesses becomes possible, and we can feel the momentary impermanence of things in the material world. Due to the collective karma of humanity, the environment on Earth is changing rapidly. As we all know, the greenhouse effect is becoming more and more severe. Earthquakes, tsunamis, hurricanes, and volcanic eruptions are more frequent. Huge transformation in landform used to happen in human history and will surely happen again. By inference, the Earth, the galaxy, and even the billion-fold universe, all the material worlds and all the galaxies are all momentary and impermanent. The universe is like a huge illusory field. From the perspective of the mind-only school, the world is an image of the 8th consciousness. The 3 realms are created by the mind only, and all phenomena are just the consciousness. due to the momentary nature of all things, that is, the momentary nature of sentient beings' minds, the notion of time came into being, the first moment, the second moment, till countless moments. As we know, the world is created by the collective karma of all sentient beings. Due to constant mental fabrication of sentient beings, all things in the world are also changing with the minds of sentient beings, moment by moment. In short, all things arise from the combination of causes and conditions. While the combination is changing, the continuum abides uninterruptedly, which is the continuity of similarities. When the causes and conditions disappear, the continuum eventually ceases. This impermanence that one doesn't abide in the second moment by nature, without depending on other factors, is seen by all enlightened beings. When the current moment is appearing, there will be no previous or next moments mixed in, but only the appearance of the current moment, and it arises and ceases in a moment. In this way, we can see the reality of conditioned things on conventional level and the general characteristic of subtle impermanence. By observing in this way, the material world and even the billion-fold universe are all formed by earth, water, fire, wind, etc. Even solid things like Mount Sumeru and diamonds are all initially formed by the collective karma of sentient beings, like clouds in the sky, temporarily abiding as a continuum, and ultimately cease due to factors such as fire, becoming nothing. This is explained in detail in Summary on the Three Realms of Existence. Here we are only summarizing briefly. Feel free to check it out. This is a reality directly seen by enlightened beings. Beginners can understand it through reasoning, while advanced practitioners can perceive it through yogic direct perception. Yoga means deep meditation. Practitioners can perceive things momentary arising and ceasing through yogic direct perception. Therefore, this principle is established in the Buddha's teachings. The Buddha's teachings, established by valid knowledge, are pure and flawless when observed through direct perception, inference, and words of enlightened beings, while heterodox teachings are flawed. As Mipham Rinpoche said in The Guide to Purifying the Mind, regarding the arising and ceasing of the universe, animate or inanimate, seasons change, sentient beings go from youth to death, from high to low, from prosperity to decline, from happiness to suffering, etc. All conditioned things we perceive are constantly changing, like lightning, bubbles, and clouds. Before reaching a conviction of this, we should constantly meditate. We should diligently listen and contemplate, and the contemplation should be carried out with high quality and frequency. We should constantly meditate. From the vast universe to our subtle thoughts, meditate that everything is momentary and impermanent. Actually, meditating on impermanence is not difficult. If you don't know how to do this, I can teach you a method. Blink your eyes. Blink as quickly as possible, but maintain your awareness while doing so. When you close your eyes, everything disappears. When you open them again, everything reappears. This can help you feel that everything in front of you is arising and ceasing moment by moment. The visual object that appears when you open your eyes is gone when you close your eyes. However, ordinary beings consider it existent, just that they can't see it when their eyes are closed. In reality, when you close your eyes, the visual object doesn't exist. It's arising and ceasing moment by moment. When your eyes are closed, it's gone. Only when the visual form, light, enters your open eyes can the visual object arise. We've never thought about this before. In short, we need to make specific observations and cultivate conviction of impermanence through thousands of efforts. Only in this way can we apply the view of impermanence in all aspects of our life, completely eradicate our attachment to permanence, and fundamentally change our thoughts, views, and behaviours. Hence, when encountering anything or any being, we will know that they are arising and ceasing moment by moment. Everything we see, hear, and think is momentary. Sociologists around the world are deeply concerned about the current state of humanity. They have observed that the world is becoming more and more turbulent, and people are experiencing more and more physical and mental suffering, frequently generating afflictions and negative karma every day. If we can't find the root cause of these problems, we can't solve them. By learning about impermanence, starting with listening and then moving on to contemplation and practice, if we have such a firm belief in impermanence, we can completely eradicate our attachment to permanence. From then on, our mind and behaviour will undergo a fundamental transformation. Over time, we will no longer have attachment to anything we encounter. In this way, we can solve all problems in the world.